I'm Martin Powell. I'm the Mayor of London's Environment Advisor. Welcome to the Cities and Biodiversity Summit. It's great that London can make a contribution. We have a fantastic city here. If you haven't been, I suggest you leave the summit and come and fly across and see us now. A wonderful backdrop behind me is Tower Bridge and obviously our beautiful River Thames. London's a remarkably green city. 2/3 of our space is green space and water, and that's split between gardens, large parks and small parks, and of course our rivers, our wetlands, mudlands and all the other habitats for our wildlife. We have a fantastic set of habitats on the urban fringe, but beyond that, within our parks we have some creatures such as stag beetles, and our skyscrapers provide nesting grounds and hunting grounds for peregrine falcons. Tremendous within a dense urban centre, as well as within the parks that people can live and enjoy. Our vision and our projects and programmes aim to deliver this are to ensure that we can make green space available to all Londoners, that they are within walking distance of a high quality green space. And to do that we have an all London green grid which sets a strategic framework across London to ensure that we integrate our green space into the urban environment, making much better connectivity with our transport links and ensuring these high quality spaces develop all across the city.
My name's Andrew Jones. I'm the Policy and Programmes Manager at Urban Greening at the Greater London Authority. I'm responsible for the preparation and facilitating delivery of the Mayor of London's Biodiversity Strategy. I'm now going to take you through some of the key policy priorities and implementation programmes we're taking forward at the moment. So what is London's biodiversity? London is a very green city. 2/3 is green space and water. 22% are actually private gardens, the biggest single land use. London is also recognised for its important wildlife sites. 5 have been designated for their international interest, 38 national interest, and there are over 1,400 local wildlife sites across the capital. These include key habitats and species such as woodlands, wetlands, grasslands, parks, brownfield sites previously developed. There are over 300 species of bird, 1,500 flowering plants and many rare species. So why is London's biodiversity important? Well, firstly, we want to protect it for its own sake. We also value its importance for people. It helps with physical and mental health, and it provides a place to enjoy and experience nature. We also recognise there are many functional benefits that a wildlife ecosystem can provide. For example, local climatic effects are affected by the nature of green space in the capital. London will suffer in a future climate change scenarios. Issues like the heat island, which raise the ambient temperature of the capital, can be partly controlled by a well-managed and extensive green space environment. We also recognise there are many economic benefits a well-managed green capital can provide. It can increase property values, and it also provides attractive places for tourists to visit. London is renowned for its royal parks and national facilities like Kew Gardens. So what is the Mayor's vision for London's environment? The Mayor focuses on 3 key challenges: improving quality of life for Londoners, reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and adapting London to the impacts of irreversible climate change. By tackling these 3 challenges we intend to achieve 4 outcomes: creating a greener, cleaner, more resilient and civilised London, leading the way in energy efficiency, supply efficiency and renewable energy, turning London's waste into an opportunity and reducing the environmental impact of the way we travel. The Mayor has published a biodiversity strategy in London. The conservation of biodiversity makes an important contribution to improving the quality of life for Londoners and creating a greener, cleaner, more resilient and civilised society. The Mayor's biodiversity strategy provides a framework for protecting and conserving London's natural open spaces. It seeks to ensure that there is no overall loss of wildlife habitats in the capital, that more open spaces are created and made accessible so that all Londoners are within walking distance of a quality natural space, that the built environment contributes to conserving biodiversity, and that the conservation of biodiversity is integrated with initiatives to adapt to climate change, improve people's health and support London's economy. So what action is the Mayor taking to conserve biodiversity in the capital? Firstly, protecting and conserving biodiversity through the land use planning system. Most of London's important habitats and species are found within the designated sites I mentioned earlier. Both designations are recognised in the London Plan, which is a spatial planning strategy for the capital, and policies are in place to ensure that land use planning decisions do not adversely impact upon the core network of these sites. To deliver the strategy, the Mayor works with a range of partner organisations. London Biodiversity Partnership has been established to help to ensure that efforts to conserve London's biodiversity are coordinated, optimised and prioritised. Partnership has identified the priority habitats and species and agreed the collective actions required to conserve and enhance them. For example, the conservation of the water vole, a species which has been lost from large parts of the English countryside which maintains populations in urban London, requires the collaboration of agencies responsible for managing London's rivers, companies responsible for supplying London's water, wildlife groups that champion its survival, and developers who can provide the opportunities of creating natural elements in urban river corridors. In London, we also recognise that providing people with access to and contact with nature is important. Conservation of biodiversity in urban environment cannot be successfully achieved without the support of local communities. Consequently, management of wildlife habitats must take into account the use of the land by people. Equally, informing Londoners of the importance of the value of wildlife habitats can instil a sense of ownership and stewardship, helping to reduce damage to wildlife habitat or disturbance to sensitive species. In London, we've identified those areas where people have inadequate access to nature, and in recent years, through improved land management and improved access, we have enabled 200,000 Londoners to have a great experience of wildlife. London is defined by its built environment, its streets and buildings, but here too biodiversity can be accommodated and encouraged through innovative approaches to design and management. London has championed the installation of green roofs designed specifically to provide habitat for wildlife. And finally, how will we ensure London's biodiversity is safeguarded in the future? Green infrastructure provides a number of ecosystem services to the city, including the very obvious benefits such as flood management and reducing the severity of the urban heat island, and the less direct benefits of improving health and well-being. The Mayor's new London Plan will contain policies for both green infrastructure and urban greening that aim to ensure that London's network of green open spaces are designed, managed and maintained to deliver a full range of ecosystem services, not only to improve the ecological health, but because the benefits they confer will play an important role in continuing to make London a livable and prosperous city. Examples of initiatives the Mayor is directly doing at this moment in time includes the planting of 10,000 street trees, the improvement of 11 rundown parks, and a target to increase tree cover from 20 to 25% by 2025. That's approximately 2 million trees. All these activities will contribute towards enhancing biodiversity across the capital.
Our vision is for London to be the greenest big city in the world, and the Mayor is absolutely committed to deliver this. We need to ensure that the great forward-thinking generations of the past in establishing these wonderful assets for our city continue well into the future. And we need this forward thinking in our generation to ensure that future generations can really enjoy this city. Thank you very much.